Good, happy Friday morning, April 30th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of the Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Friday off to a good start. So sit back, relax, and grab that good cup of coffee and enjoy this Friday morning edition of the Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. Today is the last day of April. So, let's begin right now. First step, 2 North Carolina sheriff deputies killed in ambush. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
At Panera, we make dinner easy and cheesy. Order our delicious mac and cheese for dinner tonight with delivery or pickup only at Panera.
And now to the deadly standoff in Boone, North Carolina. The sheriff says 2 deputies were shot and killed while checking on a family in their home. The gunman is also accused of killing his mother and stepfather before then taking his own life. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
A sheriff north of Charlotte is sharing tonight that another of his deputies has died after police responded to this home. Police in Watauga County, North Carolina, were called to make a welfare check and were gunned down by a man inside on Wednesday morning.
We've got an officer shot.
They share that they were called to the home just days before over issues with a 32-year-old who they're now identifying as Isaac Barnes.
He was waiting for the officers, and we'd had an issue with him over the weekend.
Sergeant Chris Ward and Deputy Logan Fox are dead. Authorities say they were ambushed in a stairwell inside the home. There's now a growing memorial outside the sheriff's office. Deputy Fox was just 25 years old. Sergeant Ward was just 36 and a father of 2 who married his high school sweetheart. He died after being flown to the hospital.
It's hard. I know God's got another angel.
The standoff at the home lasted well into the night. When police were finally able to get in the home, they found the gunman, his mother, and his stepfather all dead. Police believe the 32-year-old took his own life. Lindsay?
Steve, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Police department investigates death of man pinned to the ground. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Major issues in President Biden's address last night, policing in the U.S. And tonight, 3 officers are under investigation in the death of a man in Alameda, California. Body camera images appear to show officers restraining him using their knees and elbows on or near his neck. Here's ABC's chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman.
Tonight, the Alameda Police Department promising full transparency over the death of 26-year-old Mario Gonzalez after officers appeared to put knees on his back and elbows on or near his neck to restrain him. The incident began with 2 911 calls on April 19th, a seemingly disturbed man.
There's a man in my front yard kind of talking to himself.
After reports of possible intoxication and suspected theft, officers respond to the scene, all of it caught on their body cameras. When they encounter Gonzalez, he appears to be incoherent but not aggressive. They note the alcohol in those baskets.
I'm concerned about this open container.
And try to lead him away.
Come over here. We don't want you to fall down, okay?
But then they try to restrain him, twisting his arm behind his back. And when the cuffs come out, Gonzalez resists.
Hey, Mario, do me a favor, okay? Onto it. Stop.
Seconds later, they all go down. The officers struggling to restrain him for the next 5 minutes. They try to calm him down.
It's okay, Mario.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna take care of you, okay?
All the while, the knee of at least one officer appears to be on his back. And it stays there for over 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Think we can roll him on the side? I don't want to lose what I got, man.
15 seconds later, they realize Gonzalez is weakening.
We have no weight on his chest.
They attempt CPR for the next 5 minutes until paramedics arrive, the Alameda police stating that Gonzalez had a medical emergency. He later died at the hospital, leaving behind a 4-year-old son. And the Gonzalez family demanding justice.
The Alameda Police Department needs to explain why a perfectly healthy man who was never charged with a crime was killed in their custody.
Lindsay, 3 police officers and a parking enforcement employee are now on administrative leave. That as we learned just over the past couple of hours that the City Council of Alameda is hosting a special session to review its police department's handling of mental health calls. Lindsay.
Matt, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New York City announces plans to fully reopen July 1st. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Hendrick's Gin invites you to leave the mundane and heed the call of your curiosity.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on a busy Thursday. I'm Lindsay Davis, in for David. We begin tonight with America's next chapter in the pandemic. COVID deaths and cases declining, more states and cities easing restrictions. At the same time, the vaccination rate in this country is drastically slowing down. In New York City, once the epicenter of the pandemic, the mayor plans to fully reopen the city by July 1st. Governor Andrew Cuomo suggested it may be possible to reopen even earlier. But health officials are expressing concern about the huge vaccination fall-off in parts of the U.S. Tulsa, Oklahoma is averaging fewer than 200 shots a day at a site capable of administering thousands. The CDC reports more than 141 million American adults have received at least one dose of the vaccine. That's nearly 55%. In some areas, officials are now going door to door to try to convince hesitant Americans to get vaccinated. ABC's Whit Johnson leads us off.
Tonight, New York City, once the epicenter of the coronavirus, announcing plans to be fully open for business by July 1st.
You've gone out, you've gotten vaccinated, you've done so much to fight through this crisis. Now we can see that light at the end of the tunnel.
New York coming a long way since those dark days of soaring death tolls and boarded up buildings. The new goal, 100% capacity in most businesses by July. But Broadway not expected to fully reopen until September.
It's music to my ears. We've been waiting a very long time.
More than half the country now seeing coronavirus cases fall in the last week. Still, there are hot spots like Colorado, Washington State, and Oregon, where indoor dining is now banned in 15 counties after a surge in hospitalizations.
We know this virus is an opportunist. If there are pockets of places that haven't been vaccinated, large communities, that is where the virus is going to strike.
Nearly 1 in 4 Americans say they're not inclined to get a vaccine. Demand still dropping in some areas. Our Marcus Moore is in Oklahoma.
At this FEMA vaccination site in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they can do 3,000 shots a day, but only are averaging about 200 a day.
Across the country, the number of shots falling from 3.3 million on average in early April to just 2.6 million per day.
We're going door to door, knocking, just trying to draw people in.
In South Carolina, Candace Counts has a message for Americans who don't want to get vaccinated. She felt that way too.
I was not going to get it. I was the main one saying, don't get it.
But she's changed her mind after watching the virus take the life of her healthy 66-year-old father in just weeks. Now she's gotten both shots of the vaccine and is encouraging others to do the same.
For weeks of him being in the hospital, nothing is as bad as what he went through. Just do your research and get the vaccine.
A desperate plea after her loss. And Whit Johnson joins us now. And Whit, what are we learning about the millions of Americans who are not returning for a second dose of Pfizer or Moderna vaccines?
Lindsay, we know about 5 million Americans who got their first doses may have skipped the second doses. And a new survey in the New England Journal of Medicine found that many Americans remain confused about the timing of protection and the necessity of that second dose. But health experts are reminding people you have up to 6 weeks to get that shot, and that is critical for full protection. Lindsay?
Whit, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now. And let's go into weather. And here's a look at the weather across the United States for this Friday. As you can see, is a big rain mess over here above New Hampshire, Boston. That whole area is all covered with rain. And then there's some rain down over here in this part of the United States near Dallas, New Orleans. And then a little bit of rain over here near Seattle. Otherwise, the rest of the United States is dry. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for this Friday. And we're going to switch gears now. And we're going to talk about experts warn gas may be harder to find this summer. Let's learn about that.
Are your sneezes putting your friends in awkward positions? Stick with Zyrtec. Zyrtec starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Zyrtec, muddle no more.
We're going to move on now to that looming gas shortage this summer as many families across the country get ready to hit the road. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez has more on why it's happening, what you can do to plan ahead. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, George, good morning. Yeah, this gas station behind me has plenty of gas, and so do most of them across the country right now. But come this summer, some experts say that some stations may be seeing delays.
This morning, a warning from the tanker truck industry saying some stations may run out of gas this summer, and not because of a gas shortage, instead, a trucker shortage.
Last year during the pandemic, many of the drivers retired or they went to different industries, and that created a shortage.
According to trucking trade group National Tank Truck Carriers, up to a quarter of all tank trucks in the country that carry gas are parked because they don't have the drivers. So far, it's only affected some stations in Las Vegas and Northwest Arkansas. But come this summer, experts say we may see shortages in vacation hotspots.
What we're looking at is the summer. In terms of this happening most likely in spots that are very popular in terms of travel destinations for the summer. So beaches, so mountains.
Truck driver Jeremy Johnson doesn't carry gas, but he's seen the problem firsthand.
Well, through the pandemic, there was a lot of people, a lot of guys that were single owner operators that went out of business because the rates went so low.
Demand for gas is already reaching pre-pandemic levels. In fact, if you look at just the week of April 12th from last year, we saw people taking about 4 billion trips under 25 miles. Compare that to the same week this year, nearly 6 billion.
So do you think that people should be panicking and sort of going out there and buying as much gas as they can?
There is no reason to panic buy, I can tell you that much. Because when this has happened, the few isolated incidents that we've seen, it's happened to a chain or a brand in a market, not the entire market.
And experts tell us that a good tip to keep in mind is don't wait until you're almost on empty to fill up that tank. Go ahead and fill up when you have maybe a quarter tank of gas left. That way you have time to go from one station to another if you have to. Guys?
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, Gio, thank you very much.
Well, hey there, G.
Okay, there you go. Good information there. And we are going to switch gears now. And let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Prince William and Kate Middleton share rare video with their kids playing on the beach. Let's take a look right now from Entertainment Tonight.
Prince William and Kate Middleton celebrate their 10-year wedding anniversary with a rare home video. The couple tied the knot in a massive ceremony at Westminster Abbey in 2011. And on Thursday, Kensington Palace shared a touching video of William and Kate along with their 3 children, 7-year-old Prince George, 5-year-old Princess Charlotte, and 3-year-old Prince Louis near the family's home in Norfolk, England. The Lovebirds captioned the sweet clip, quote, "Thank you to everyone for the kind messages on our wedding anniversary. We are enormously grateful for the 10 years of support we have received in our lives as a family. W and C."
The timing is right now. We're very, very happy.
On Wednesday, the palace released 2 new portraits to commemorate the milestone. One, taken outside Kensington Palace earlier this week by Chris Floyd, features the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge holding hands and sporting matching blue ensembles. Kate in a light blue dress, William in a blue sweater over matching slacks. The caption, 10 years. And that's the second portrait featuring the 2 in a sweet embrace.
I'm very glad that happened.
On Thursday, William's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, dedicated Instagram and Twitter posts to the couple, sharing throwback pics from their wedding day alongside the caption, quote, "Wishing the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge a very happy wedding anniversary." ET can also confirm that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle privately congratulated Prince William and Kate on their milestone anniversary, which comes on the heels of a reported falling out between the brothers after Harry and Meghan's bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey.
I think the idea of seeing this reprisal of the Fab Four, Harry and Meghan, William and Kate, is really so far down the future. It's almost quite hard to even envisage it at the moment. So much has happened. There is so much hurt on either side. I think the first step is William and Harry getting the relationship back on track. And then we will have to see. I know it was always Harry's intention that his children would be close to William and Kate's children. He wanted them to grow up close as families.
But back to William and Kate. On Tuesday, the Duchess tried her hand at golf while her hubby and a group of new friends cheered her on at the Cheesy Waffles project. She may have whiffed it on her first swing, but she nailed it on her second. Whether they're playing sports for a good cause or spending time with their kids by the beach, we can't get enough of this adorable couple. Congrats on the milestone anniversary.
Okay, and that does it for this Friday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for joining us for this Friday edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Have a great rest of your Friday, everyone, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. And I'll see you back here later on today with more news coverage. Goodbye, everyone.